This is Nigel Metal of 98.9 FM, Corey's Modern Rock, and Nigel Metal Productions. And I'm stood here with Amy Gould of Eden on Fire. Now, I know you've heard this song, right? And you loved it. Falling is this song, and it's absolutely great. Now, Amy, I've got to ask you, right? When I was talking with you earlier on the phone, a couple of weeks ago before the song actually hit, you said the song had a special meaning to you. I remember that. It caught my attention. What do you mean by that?
Well, it was sort of written after the fact, but it was about a dark time in my life. I had been in a very long, sort of bad relationship, and I actually had a music career that was sort of on a trajectory when I was a lot younger, and fell into a bad relationship, sort of came out of that. I got out of the music industry for a while, and it was just a really dark time in my life where I just was sort of living for someone else. I wasn't living for myself anymore. I wasn't doing what I loved anymore. I just was going through the motions, and I just was not a happy person. It was a depressing time in my life. So after I finally got out of that situation, I fell back into music again. It sort of healed me through that process, and it was one of the first songs that I wrote. And it was during the pandemic, actually. I got back, sat down at the piano one day, and it just started flowing, and that was one of the songs that came out. And I had to tell my mother, actually, Mom, I'm not in that place anymore. This is from my past. But yeah, so it does mean a lot to me because it's where I was at one time in my life. I'm not there anymore, thankfully.
So would you say it's kind of like a victory song?
It really is in some ways because I came out of it. So yeah, and I've had a lot of people approach me and say that it just really touched them in other ways that I didn't expect, because it actually was sort of a relationship song, but a lot of people have said that it has other meanings for them too, just where they are in their lives. You know, somebody said something about somebody that was touched by addiction and things like that. So it just really, I don't know, it's just really been amazing for me how many people have come to me and said that this has touched them in some way, and it just really feels good to know that my music's done that.
I know, because I hear from a lot of you out there, right? You guys have heard the song, and it's touched a lot of people. When I first heard it, and you can ask Susan, didn't that give you goosebumps, right? It gave me goosebumps when I heard it. I thought, it's absolutely amazing. So, how long have you been in music? How long have you done music?
Since I was a wee little girl, I started out, I always tell the funny story. I wanted to be an artist, and then I was in second grade, and I got they used to give letter grades like O for outstanding and S for satisfactory, and I got an S in art because I can't draw to save my life. I'm terrible. But I got an O in music, and I remember one time in music class, the teacher had threatened the class if they didn't stop talking in class, she was going to make the next person stand up and sing the song all by themselves. And here goes Amy raising her hand going, can I stand up and sing it anyway? And she said, sure. Yeah, exactly. There was the little hand that was born in third grade, so I just kind of naturally fell into loving music. I had grandparents who had pianos, and I learned to sort of play by ear as a child. My parents bought me an old upright piano. They didn't have a lot of money, but they went and found one of these really old pianos that had broken keys on it, and I just learned to play on that. Eventually they got me some lessons, but over the years I just really was mostly self-taught. And I started writing songs when I was probably about 6 or 7 years old. I started writing music.
That's very therapeutic to write music, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I wrote silly little songs when I was a little girl, but music has just always been an integral part of me. So I've been doing it for a lot of years, and I'm not going to tell you
That's all right. I'm not going to tell how old you are either.
But no, I really have. I've been in and out of bands since I was 16 years old. It was my first rock band.
Who was your first rock band? What was your name?
Quadratrack.
Quadratrack,
which was...
First bands are always got the weird names.
Yeah, funny thing. I was in high school, and, we were a cover band. We were actually pretty good. We actually played a prom. It was kind of weird. So yeah, and then I, after high school, went on to college to actually be a music performance major. I was a vocal performance major, and then I dropped out of college to be a rock star. So I did bands in the Philadelphia region for a lot of years. I did a little bit of cover music for them, mostly when I got into the original metal scene, actually, in Philadelphia. Was kind of doing it out there. Wasn't a lot of female metal singers at the time. It was really challenging, but it was a good time. And then I kind of met somebody and kind of fell out of the music scene for a while. So that was sort of where Fallen came from.
Right, and that was the bloke that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so and then you came out of that relationship.
Right.
And so you wrote Fallen.
Yeah.
How old is that song?
I wrote it in 2020. So.
Right after the pandemic.
Right, yeah, it was kind of right in the middle of the pandemic. It was actually, I look back and I want to say it was March of 2020 that I wrote that. So it was right in the middle of it.
And what were you feeling when you wrote that song? What was your gut like?
I was probably reliving some trauma. What I was going through was pretty traumatic, so it was really kind of reliving those feelings of despair of what I had been through, but not actually in despair any longer, but feeling that, reliving it sort of as I wrote it. So, kind of putting myself back in that place to write it.
And I think, and I'm glad you did, really, because, we're talking about women in rock, women in metal, right? I mean, like I said, we were talking earlier, right?
Yeah.
And I said, they're all the rage in Europe.
Yeah.
Not so much in America.
Yeah, we're working on it here.
If you hear the song Fallen, folks, I'm going to tell you what, okay? You're going to give women a lot more chance, okay? Because they're absolutely great. So, Amy, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you taking the time to do an interview with me because the song is absolutely great. It's wonderful to meet you. And I want to talk with you and your band a little bit later on, okay?
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. Amy Gould, everybody.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Nigel Metal here of 98.9 FM, Corey's Modern Rock, also Nigel Metal Productions. And I'm stood here with the band Eating on Fire. And let me tell you what, this band is on fire. Now, I know you've heard the song Follow. We've talked about that with Amy for a little bit, but we're going to get to know the band, okay? And so I've got over here, I've got Mike Calabrese, right? Drummer?
Yes.
Drummers are always crazy. Okay?
Yeah, that's one way of putting it, sure.
And then we got Rick Knapp. He plays guitar. All right, he's thinking about going country, but we're not going to say anything about that. They're keeping that,
It's in the works. It's a possibility.
Of course, this is getting to be a little too cheeky, all right? Of course, you know Amy, right? And then you've got Scott Haggerty on bass, okay? And so, you and Scott got together first, right?
Yes, we did.
And you guys started writing.
Yes.
How did you guys get involved? How did you get involved?
Well, Mike got started before I did.
Do you want to tell the story, Michael?
Well, since I'll tell it correctly.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell it correctly.
I had heard some of Amy's stuff. She put up some of the little MIDI things she had done. I thought it was kind of neat. And I got hold of her saying, hey, you need a drummer. And she told me no. She had somebody, so she wasn't in need of my services.
Oh!
And I crawled away with my tail between my legs. And month, two, something, it wasn't
A couple months.
Yeah, it wasn't very
Yeah,
long.
a couple of months later, I get a message from her and said, well, I'm still looking to play for someone. I need a drummer. And she came crawling back, begging, pleading, sent Scott on his knees. It was all embarrassing.
That
things. And I said, well, I suppose I have nothing else going on.
All right, this interview's getting cheekier as it goes, but we
This
go.
is how this
So
band
basically,
rolls.
I asked her if she needed someone. She didn't at the time. A couple
Right.
months later, she ended up needing a guy, got a hold of me, and we kind of talked a bit. The three of us got together and talked about what she was doing, what I thought we could do, and where we were all coming from, and realized we all were on relatively the same page. And then we found this guy.
Yes.
How did you get involved?
Well, it was actually my sister-in-law had a friend that at the time they were doing some cover music and asked if I wanted to play with him. So that didn't work out. Mike said, hey, we got this original project. I said, I'd love to do it. And that's pretty much it.
And so next thing you know, you got involved in everything.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few guitar players before me that didn't work out, but I didn't realize the only criteria was just showing up.
That's a big part of it.
Wait,
So
showing up and not irritating.
Yeah, so I think I just kind of kept coming to rehearsal, and that's how it all started.
And you remember to wear pants.
Yeah.
And you remember to wear pants.
Yeah, so
Wait, you don't always wear pants.
Yeah, but you don't see my legs.
Oh, this is true. Okay.
I don't think I'm going to ask anything about that. I'm just going to let that go. But, and then, of course, Scott, right?
Yes.
So, you, all of a sudden, you got involved with Amy's songwriting. Okay? What drew you to that?
So, do you want to tell the story or you want me to tell the story?
Go ahead. You can tell it.
So Scott and I are actually a couple. So
Oh, okay.
Scott
I wanna know what
had
you
reached
like.
out to me prior to it's kind of a funny story. So Scott had reached out to me prior on Facebook, and I was in the middle of kind of writing and just throwing things. I did all my songs on MIDI sort of first and uploaded them to YouTube. And out of the blue, I get this yokel sending me a thing on Facebook. Hey, I know you. You know, you're friends with all my musician friends, and I'm like, who is this dude? We went to high school together and never even knew each other, which is kind of a funny story. But so we started dating actually. But he told me he was a bass player, but he hadn't played in a long time. And so for a while he could say, he's like, I could maybe lay down some bass tracks for you. And I'm thinking, oh God, what if he sucks? You know, like this guy keeps talking about wanting to play bass for me, and I'm like, So finally he said, all right, get your bass out. I'm thinking, this is gonna be bad. We're dating already. Like he's gonna get out of his bass. And he's going to be terrible, and then what am I going to do, you know?
Right.
And he was good. So that's how that all came to be, actually. He started laying down bass tracks for me on my MIDI tracks that I had already done, because my bass lines were kind of lackluster anyway, because I'm not a bass
What,
player.
because he has to? Did you lay him down because you have to, or because you wanted to? Did you say you will do it, or there'll be a beating?
No, I actually wanted.
He was asking to.
Yeah, I wanted to.
And I was kind of skeptical because I wasn't quite sure, but yeah, he wanted to. So.
Yeah.
And he asked for the beating, too.
It brings me to my next question. Right? I've got to ask this, okay? Because we were talking earlier, and Amy said he's got some weird habits.
Oh no.
Well, we're talking about your taste in. You're just
Weird habits. Let's see.
No, let's not go there. I don't even know what that's going to be. Let's just
Okay, we're just going to let that go then, right?
No, yeah, he just
Know that he has them, and supposedly,
Yeah.
And they're sticky.
Yeah. Yeah, there's never anything serious
Maybe.
in our band
all
ever,
right,
just
all right.
so you know.
This guy's cheeky. I like this guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, so you guys all became a band and everything, and when did you know that it was jiving? You know, when did you know that, yes, this is it?
I think for me, probably within the first month or so. I mean, the first couple times you jam with anybody, it's the feeling out process, and everything's, oh, that's great, that's great, that's great. It's when you start wanting to change stuff. You know, she just presented me with, here, this is this thing, this song means a lot to me here. And I'm going, okay, but let's take this part out, let's move this. And you're waiting for them to say, no, that's how it goes. And thankfully, she was cool with wanting to manipulate some stuff and move things around. We all hear stuff different. So once she was cool with that, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to strangle this singer. This is good. So, and Rick came in, and Rick is a phenomenal player and has some really cool ideas for moving stuff around. Just one small change.
Yeah.
just a small change. Yes.
And
every other day for months.
And it's just everyone's. There's no one who's really trying to pull us into some weird, really whacked out thing that doesn't fit with what we're about. Everything we do works with what we dig and what we're into. We're not trying to write some weird avant-garde piece because we're not avant-garde musicians.
And we all do work very well together.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and I find it amazing that, I mean, as a band, you guys have been around for like, 2 years as a band.
Yeah. Well,
Right around there.
it's been about 2 years for us, probably a year and a half, maybe a little under 3 years.
Yeah, because it was late summer. So yeah, about a year and a half.
However you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Even On Fire has existed for a year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, for a year and a half, you know, I mean, I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
you know?
and to me, it's amazing. Like my head spins sometimes when I think about it because we've cranked out so many tunes. Like I said, we have 10 songs tracked right now in the studio that we're trying to get finished up, and we keep writing more. Like we have 2 more that you heard tonight, and then we have like 2 more in the works that we're writing. And I just threw another one at Rick the other day, and like they keep coming, and we're just our creative process. Okay, whatever. The creative process just keeps happening, and this band just is evolving, and we work, like I said, really well as a team. You know, there's no egos in this band. Really, and honestly, everybody works really well together. We get along very well, and my head is like I said, spinning at how much that we've accomplished in such a short period of time.
I would say so. So, Scott, what's your influence? Number 1 influence.
My bass influence,
Right.
Dee Dee Verney, Overkill.
Nice.
Much better answer.
Yeah, you like that one?
Thank you. We were waiting
I love
for
his sound.
Tony's bass player.
I just love his sound. His sound is great. He's a good bass player.
And what about you?
My number 1, it's hard to nail them all down, but if I have to pick one, it's Pat Benatar.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I can see that. Right, Rick.
I'm a child of the 80s, so it's George Lynch. It's
Akira Tokusaki.
yes, that Loudness.
Right.
Yes, super. I love that first album. One of my favorites. Anything 80s hair metal.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's just ironic.
It is. Isn't that ironic?
Mike, what about you?
I'll get hate for it. I don't care. My favorite drummer is Lars Ulrich.
No, you're not going to get hate.
Oh, I'm not saying who, but anyone who sees this, a lot of people, it's fun now. It's fun to shit on Lars. I'm sorry for cursing.
You just did.
I tried not to. It's become fun to bash him, and it's fun. He's not he's not Buddy Rich, but I don't know. It just I heard that stuff and it made me want to play. So number 1, absolutely without a doubt, Lars Ulrich. There's plenty of others, but
And Lars Ulrich is the one that you love, the one that said, yes, you will play drums.
for sure. Just because certain aspects of our lives are dovetail. He's mostly self-taught, so am I. I didn't play tennis, obviously. But, a lot of the influences and so on. I have an older brother, so I got turned on to metal early. So a lot of the same stuff that turned him on turned me on too. So all the new wave British heavy metal stuff, and some absolutely, like Tank and Tigers of Pantang and old Venom and everything. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's just been that kind of dovetailing with it, and I don't know, stuff's fun to play.
Now, you guys say you got more music coming out, right?
Yes, we do.
All right, now I want to get this, okay? I want to get this on this interview just so I've got evidence. As soon as it comes out, as soon as you got it done, I'm the first one to get it, right?
Sure.
You bet.
You got it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We got to call the other guy we promised it to and tell him no.
That's usually how it goes.
No, that's true. We actually, hopefully we'll have something done here very, very soon. We were almost finished with it, but storms kind of waylaid us the other day, so in the studio we had to shut down a little bit because of some storms coming through. But hopefully we're going to have our next single ready to go here very, very soon.
Absolutely.
We're really excited about this one too, so.
Yeah.
Now, I've got one last question for you, lady.
Yes.
Being a female-fronted band,
Yes.
right? A female-fronted
Yes.
band,
Yes.
you're influencing the younger generation, the younger ladies.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it makes me proud to be able to do something like that. I want girls to know that they can do this, that, for one thing, that, they don't have to go just be, the typical pop star. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being pop stars, but you can do this too. You can break into this formerly man's world and do metal. I mean, you can do it. You can do anything you want, but you can do this. And
And there you
go
got
for
it. There you got it. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nigel Metal. This is Eden on Fire. The song has fallen, you know it, and they rock.